Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel, man. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. As you guys can see, Evo 10 over here has its original plastic black valve cover on it, because today we are swapping that up. That actually was on there just to protect everything while the old one was getting powder coated. I did have the wicked white aluminum valve cover for 3 years now that you guys may have seen on this Sidewinder setup over here. But it was actually originally just regular paint on there, okay? And one of my local buddies did it dirt cheap, and it lasted almost 3 years. And I say lasted, it really didn't. It actually ended up yellowing like crazy on the backside where the manifold is, getting tons of crack, and a bunch of paint was peeling up. That being said, in pictures it looked great, but it did not look great up close and personal. If you see this picture right here, it was hideous, absolutely ruined. I wanted to get it powder coated officially so it didn't do this problem again. I went back and forth with, should I get white again, or should I go with some crazy color? I did end up going with the crazy color. It might be in the cover photo here, I'm not positive, but regardless, the baffles were taken out of this and they were re-threaded by this company that did it. And today what I'm gonna do is show you guys how to put those threads back in there, red Loctite, the whole deal, how long you have to have it sit there, and then I'll show you guys putting the valve cover back on the Evo and talk about the torque specs on it, because it's very easy to over torque the regular bolts that just go on for the valve cover. It is a very, very low torque number, and you don't want to overdo that. It's just a gasket just to grab that seal. If you over tighten it, actually can leak because of that. But regardless, let's go ahead and get some details. I'll show you guys how to redo this baffles, how to put this thing in, and we will go from there. All right, guys, first things first, I'm just gonna show you, just in case you are behind where I'm at right now. I did have my dual catch can hooked up to this, which I already disconnected. If you install this, you know how to take it off. So I took off my two connections. You might have little rubber hose clamps that you gotta take off of there. First thing you're gonna do is actually unplug all of your plugs right here. As you can see, I have all of my spark plug harness right there, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then there's gonna be a 10mm holding each of those in, okay? You're actually gonna take those things out and you're gonna pop those all the way across the board, all right? After that, you can see there's other bolts down there in the center holding it in, and then there's bolts all around the edge. Literally just take all those off, and after all the center ones, all the edge ones come off, you'll be able to shimmy this thing a little bit and you'll be able to pop it right off, no problem. Again, this is a plastic one. Obviously, I'm not even running it with this. This was just to protect so nothing got inside while my metal one was getting powder coated again. But that is it. That's what it looks like. So go ahead and take that off and I'll meet you at the table. Alright guys, that's just my flashlight on there. As you guys can see, whenever it gets hit by light, it's extremely bright in that area. And then whenever the light is not directly on it, now mind you, this light is not counting, guys. I'm talking about the sun. When the sun actually hits us, which is too gloomy today for me to actually show you outside, this thing blings with that glitter or pearl, whatever it's called. It is really, really shiny. And when the light directly hits it, it's almost like sunken. It's like really, really light colored. And as you can see, if the light's not directly smashing on it, it's almost a darker color orange. So it has two variations of orange in it, and that metallic flake or whatever it's called all throughout the whole thing. I'm really excited. The guy did a phenomenal job on that. When it's actually on the car, which I'm super pumped up. Man, this thing's been white valve cover for 3 years now, and it's just been super clean, simple, easy. I've loved it to death, but I've also wanted to get a little bit wild and change this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the orange valve cover on with that glitter, and I'm also gonna potentially, if I end up being obsessed with this valve cover and liking it, I'm actually gonna get the actual calipers done front and rear. Now the guy who actually does this will actually literally rebuild these if needed. He redoes it in powder coated and with the orange with the glitter and everything, and the actual brimble on there will be powder coated on, so it won't be an actual sticker. Super legit, really awesome. I'll have his link in the bottom, and then on his instructions, guys, when you get it back, obviously the baffles will be taken out as well, and he has already re-threaded those, so we're gonna do the installation of this. So if you guys end up going through this guy, and or if you go through another place that does baffles like this is how you install these things, and then we'll show you how to pop this thing on really quick with some torque specs. All right, and there she is, guys. This is it. This is how it is set up. These were the little baffle trays, went over here and here. As I said, he did drill those out and re-tapped each of these so we can actually put a bolt with some hardware in there for replacement. These are super easy to put in. You're just gonna take these, and this little portion always goes against the wall. You'll be able to take this and slides right into place. Same deal with the other one. Right over here, just like that. Everything's in line, new threads, we're good to go. Just make sure you get your hardware. Again, M5 by 8, and we are good to go with that portion. All right, so earlier I said 20 guys. There's actually 21 different bolts that you're gonna be putting in here. Again, Ace Hardware is where you can get these things from. The M5x8, a little Allen key like this. Little short babies over here. This is not recommended even in the directions, but I will be adding it. It is not against it. I did talk to the guy who powder coats this. He said all day, no problem if you want to. I'm adding a lock washer also, okay? Now, you don't necessarily need the lock washer, and again, it's not in the directions because you'll be using the permanent red Loctite, okay? So with this stuff fully cured, 24 hours of cure, this thing needs to be fully ready to drive, okay? 10 minutes, it settles. 24 hours of curing for it actually to do its thing. Make sure you guys hit that. You don't want to mess that up and have one of these bolts back out on you. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some directions and fast forward this. You wanna do all of this within about 10 minutes of period because that is the settling time for this red Loctite. Then again, cure is 24 hours, so you realistically have a little more time than that. But no matter what, try to keep it within a range here. So basically, you're gonna have your little lock washer. If you're using those, you're gonna put some red Loctite and let's say the first 4 or 5 little threads over there from the bottom portion, and then you're gonna screw these things in by hand. You're gonna wanna do all 21 of these by hand first in a quick fashion with red Loctite on there. Lock washers, if you want, hand tight all the way down. After you've after you've put them all the way, just hand tight all the way across the board, your Loctite is in there and everything. You will then go back. Now this is a 3mm from my personal top here. I believe it'll probably be the same for everybody here. After it's all the way down hand tight and you have all of them in here all the way, you're gonna be giving a 180 turn. There's not a specific torque number. It is hand tight as far down as you can go, and then a half of a turn. A full turn would be 360, half a turn, meaning 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock there, would be your 180 turn. That's all you do, and then you let it settle for 24 hours. It cures itself. You have your lock washer on there. You're good to go all across the board. Then we'll go ahead and add our gasket back, bolt that thing back down to the head over here on the Evo, and then next 24 hours, we can start the car again and get moving. So as I said, I'm gonna do these all at the exact same time, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some red Loctite to all of them at one time. It's actually not 10 minutes for settling, it's actually 20 minutes for settling, but either way, this will only take maybe 5 minutes. So I'm just doing the bottom threads, maybe like 4 or 5 of the bottom threads right here, all the way across. I put my lock washer on and then put them all down hand tight before going and doing my half turn crank there. Okay, so all of them tightened down properly now. We do have to let it go for 24 hours before we start the car, but it does not stop us from putting it back on the car. So right here is gonna be your new gasket number. If you're doing a new valve cover gasket, you can check the condition of your other one. Hopefully it's good to go and you can just swap it over or put it back on. But either way, that's what we're gonna be doing today. All right, and there she is, man. Let's go ahead and torque this thing down now. Earlier, as I mentioned, this is a very, very low torque number. It's only gonna be 31 inch-pounds pressure on here, which is about 2.5 foot-pounds of pressure to actually do it, which is basically just a wrist turn. Now, you do want to put these all hand tight all the way down and then go back and give little quarter turns to it, just like you'll see me do here in a second. There is a specific order if you do want to follow it. This is what I found online. This is the chart. This is what you would do. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this, of course, though, and go ahead and bolt it all the way down, hand tight, retighten it all the way, and then I can put my spark plug coils back in, connect it all up, and we'll be good to go. All right, everything hand tightened and then retightened down with just a little couple of wrist turns, like I was saying, only 2.5 pounds of pressure. Go ahead and pop all your plugs back in here. Replace your 10 millimeters, same deal, a very light torque number. This is just to hold them in place. And then we can go ahead and connect our personal catch can and we'll be good to go here. Alright, dude, there you have it, guys. That is the valve cover on the Evo 10 installed. Nice and easy. Baffles returned with the red Loctite. Remember, 24 hours, and then you're good to start the car after that, man. Hope this video was informative to you guys. If you do like it, please do subscribe for more stuff. Like the videos up, and we will see you in the next one.